Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Jay with Skywalker Investing. I run a Slack with multiple channels, and one of my favorite channels, as you know, is sports betting. I'm going through some games today for the NBA playoffs, Tuesday, April 26, 2022, and I'm going through all three games. I'm going to place bets, parlays on all three. I did play some on Monday, hard day Monday. I didn't hit on any of those three. First bad day in a while, but we're back at it. That's why we keep our eyes high and we kind of let the law of numbers work out for itself as long as you have an edge. And our edge is keeping probability within a realistic range with favorable risk to reward ratios. So if you look at probably my favorite game to bet on that you can kind of see the trend here is New Orleans and Phoenix. It's a late game though, so it's kind of hard to make sure you're kind of getting the eye test as well as the analytics down. But I really like that game. Second, if I had to choose, as far as trends go to bet on, is Miami and Atlanta. And third would be Memphis and Minnesota. Memphis and Minnesota, young players against young players in the playoffs. A lot of inconsistencies between Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, even Jaren Jackson and even John Morant. None of them have been overly consistent, but you kind of expect that with young players in a 7 game series, potential 7 game series. With Atlanta and in Miami, uh, obvious trends there. I mean, Trey Young's having a difficult time scoring, so I would definitely look at taking the under there. They're not utilizing Bam Adebayo. Still favorable odds on his under consistently. Nobody in Atlanta seems like they can check Jimmy Butler and they push him to shoot. I would like to take the over there as well. But I'm going to go in detail here on New Orleans and Phoenix. So let's take a look at um, this parlay here I have here. All right, so as you know, I like to go 3 legs. I like to have my odds somewhere in the vicinity of 370. Um, I could have took overs a little bit lower than these two, but I felt like the odds are still great for this point total. So let's start off with Brandon Ingram. They just can't check him. All right, so I don't know. I'm also, not being biased here. I am a fan of Brandon Ingram. And I've been for a while, but he's just, he has a mid range, he has a three, he can get by you. He's 6'10, 6'11, he's long. He has a higher release point on his mid range, which makes it hard to block. He has a handle. I mean, he's too much for Phoenix, right? So definitely Devin Booker out. But look at these point totals. He did have somewhat of an off game, 6-17 shooting in the first game at 18 points. But since then, he's dropped 37 on 13 to 21. He's dropped 34 on 11 of 19, and he's dropped 30 on 11 of 23. So we know he's going to get up about 20 shots at the least, right? So, I mean, if you know, mix in a couple of threes there, I like taking him to go over 26 points basically. Right. He also can get to the line. Even the refs don't seem to be calling these playoffs, they're talking about it. So basically, go over that again. Last 3 games, 37, 34, and 30. I like him taking it over 26. Definitely, like I said, as Devin Booker continues to be out, right? So then we got CJ McCollum, who has just been amazing in the Pelicans matchups, but he hasn't shot overly well in this series compared to his standards. Something else I noticed though is um, he heats up in the second half. Like he'll kind of have a bad shooting first half, and he's a smart player. He makes adjustments, seems to do well in the second half. So the numbers are kind of misleading as far as his efficiency goes, not in a bad way, but in a good way. I think that he's going to get it figured out and he's going to have put together a good first half and second half. But if we look at his 4 games against Phoenix, he's put up 25, 23, 30, and 18. And on this last game when he put up 18, he shot 8 or 21. That's not CJ McCollum. He's not gonna do that. The game he put up 30, 11, and 23, that's more CJ McCollum. And even then, he could have shot even better from the three-point line. He was 4 of 11, right? And he's a better shooter than that. You can kind of see it in this previous game here. When he put up 23, he was 7 of 18 from the field and 6 of 10 from three-point shots. And then when he had 25, he was 9 of 25 from the field. Once again, not that efficient for him, and 3 of 8 from three. So, I mean, they don't really have anybody that can consistently check CJ and Brandon. I mean, they got McCall Bridges, who's a good defender, but he's kind of pick your poison with one or the other, So, and a lot of Pelicans offense is going to come from Brandon and CJ. Willie Green is gonna push them to go score, and CJ and Brandon Ingram have a good rapport with each other too. They do push each other to go score. Chris Paul. Some people might think I'm kind of bold taking the under on 23. Oh man, I don't know. I mean, look, my thing is he did have 2 games, right? And what they say is what a lot of older players is hard for them to string together good games back to back, right? And if you notice, he had 30, then he dropped to 17. Then he had 28, then he dropped to 4. And I'm looking at the shooting percentage. When he put up 30, it was 12 to 16, 4 6 from 3. When he put up 17, it was 5 of 16 from the field and 2 of 6 from 3. When he put up 28, he was 10 to 18 from the field and 1 of 6 of 3. And when he put up 4 points, he was 2 of 8 from the field and 0. He made 0 3-pointers. Right. So here's my thing. I think that he's wearing down. Definitely without Devin Booker, and I think that the defense is also making adjustments as the series continues to go on. They know that the majority of the offense is coming from Chris Paul, so he's seeing a lot of traps, a lot of double teams, a lot of aggressive defense on him because they know he's the primary ball handler. And Monty Williams in his post-game press conference was like, I think they were putting too much on CP, and I feel like they were kind of indirectly trying to put pressure on DeAndre Ayton because they asked him, in the post-game press conference, what immediately stands out to you? And he's like, rebounds. And, that kind of falls on the big man, even though, the entire team should rebound. So I do think you're going to see him pass the ball to DeAndre Ayton more, even though he's averaged a lot of assists, and you can see he's trying to facilitate a lot. 10 assists, 14 assists, 14 assists, 11 assists. My thing is with this 28-point game, he kind of got hot in the fourth quarter, and the Pelicans was getting killed on the glass, and it was getting killed in the paint, which is one of their strong suits. They top 10 in the paint, and that came from Jackson Hayes getting ejected for that flagrant 2, right? Which I thought it should have been a flagrant 1, but I mean whatever, but Jackson Hayes is a 7-foot athletic big. Pelicans play big. They have Jonas at the 5, and then they have Jackson Hayes at the 4, right? And so, that kind of lets Chris Paul gets into the paint more, get his mid-range going, able to mix it up, and so forth, right? So, and if you can tell, he was getting to his mid-range because he was only 1 of 6 from 3 when he put up 28, right? He was 10 to 18 from the field. So I think that 20 is kind of somewhat inflated. I could see him, I could definitely see him being held under 23. I can't see him going over 25, 26 again. But that could happen if you want to craft your parlay to say, hey, it's under 26, 27. If the sports books is letting you pick that number, I think that's for sure, a solid one. And that probably drop your odds down, right? So, but like I said, how I like to break this down is shooting for the same odds, right, with the same probability, right, to give yourself a fair chance to come out either at least even, right? You do have those days where you might not hit on any, right? So, what I like to always do is I like to say, hey, look, put together a 3-leg parlay with the odds around 300, see what the payout will be. And I would say, okay, well, if I'm willing to put up $140 on bets, um, today on one day or over the weekend, right? What I would do is I will put up 4 parlays with the odds of about 370, right? And if you hit on either one of those 4 parlays, you would get paid out what you was willing to put up, the 141. Anything extra is bonus, right? So that's how I believe in growing my account, how I have grown my account is I like to place multiple parlays where if I hit just one, it would cover whatever I'm willing to pay out, and I flat bet, right? So 30 across all 4 parlays, 40 across all parlays, 50 across all parlays, or I do a percentage if I'm starting to scale up, right? So 5 to 10% of my account across all 4 parlays, right? And so if I hit on one of those 4 parlays and all the odds are the same, I'm covered. You follow what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I go about it. And that's the parlay that I'm sharing with y'all today. Make sure y'all hit subscribe if y'all wanna if y'all interested in sports betting. If you want to keep getting some parlays and hit the notification bell to when I see if when I upload some videos. Leave a comment if you have any questions. If you want to join a growing sports betting community, click the link below, and we'll be glad to have you. We love talking sports. And we're just gearing up when we're doing the NBA playoffs, but once fall hits, we're going to be in college football, college basketball, NFL as well. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and that's it. Y'all have a good one. Peace.